Hello, I'm Binci,
Hello, I'm Mirela.
and this is the Broker News Podcast.
This is the Broker News Podcast. We believe there is never too late to start a business. We did it. We turned entrepreneurs later in life. So why not you? What are you afraid of? Dare to live with purpose, no matter the age.
Hello, Binci. Today we are going to speak about how it is to have a life after 50s, especially when you lose or quit your current job. Interesting topics, right?
It is absolutely very interesting topic because I can tell you that when I was 51, I unfortunately lost my job because the firm I worked for as a journalist went bankrupt. Looking for a job. I thought, that can't be a problem. I'm 51. I have so much knowledge. I have so much experience that everybody is wanting to hire me. But no, I had to learn that at 51, nobody wants to hire you. Maybe they think you're too expensive. I have no idea. Maybe even they think I don't have enough energy, which I would strongly say I have. And yeah, it was a very, very difficult time. I had to write application after application. I did that. I wrote I don't know, a few hundreds of them. And I really thought, God, nobody wants me, absolutely nobody. The worst, I think, even was I wasn't even invited for an interview because I thought, at least they could invite me, then I can show them in person what I can do and they can see that I'm not an old woman yet. But I was only invited to 2 interviews in over 1.5 years, and I didn't get either job. So yes, it was a very, very hard time. What about you? Did you have the same experiences or not at all?
Well, I left corporate life after 25 years. And in a way, I was a bit like, I'm in the middle of the ocean. I know I have to swim to reach land, but I don't know exactly which direction land is. And in a way, there were so many possibilities. And by the way, I'm a really bad swimmer. So that was kind of terrifying moment for me. It was not about which company do I choose, or it was more about what am I going to do with my life now? And what is it that I want? What is it that I don't want? Because one thing for sure was I didn't leave one big corporate and I work only for great companies to go in a similar role or to go in a similar corporate. I wanted to do something else, but I wasn't sure what is it that I want to do. And this took me a bit of time. It took a lot of introspection, hundreds of hours spent in front of my computer. I would jump on my computer at 6 a.m. in the morning, finish working sometimes 10 p.m. And I'm not a workaholic, but I was trying to do it all. I was trying to explore each and every avenue. In a way, it's fascinating because once you decide to leave the corporate life, you also discover the possibilities. You see, oh, there is a life outside what I used to do. There is a whole network. There is some new technology. There are some new use cases. The possibilities are endless. And in a way, I felt a bit overwhelmed by possibilities. I knew I wanted to become an entrepreneur, but what type of company? And I played with so many concepts. I played with so many ideas. I also learned new things, which I didn't think I'm capable of learning. I couldn't believe that I can build my own websites and not with whatever gimmicky type of softwares, but with proper ones. And this clarity came much later. And sometimes I'm still thinking I need even more clarity and maybe even more focus, but I'm simply too curious to explore one more thing. One thing I learned, though, is that I know exactly what I don't want.
That's very interesting because it is exactly the same I learned. And in the end, it was through my husband who knew someone who was looking for a journalist, etc., that I got the new job at the broker. And well, it's exactly 10 years later that I was again in the situation, what am I going to do? Because my former boss didn't want to work anymore. He's like 68 or so, no, doesn't have any power anymore. So he said he's not going to continue. And there I was again in a quite bad situation. And I was also thinking about all the possibilities there are, but knowing that I wasn't 51, but 61, I knew it would be even much harder. And even if everybody always tells me, yeah, you look younger, or you have so much energy and strength, yeah, I do. But what does it help? Not much. So in the end, I also became an entrepreneur as of January 1st of this year. I took this step because I knew that there was absolutely no alternative. And I must say, I love it. I really do. And I'm so happy also to be able to work with you, I must say, because you are writing for the Broker News as well. And I think I couldn't feel better. I never had that much energy, even though I just did a course with MIT and I thought, I won't be able to finish it because it was very complicated to me, etc. I did finish it in the end. But what was your way in entrepreneurship?
Well, first of all, as I told you, I wasn't very sure what I'm going to do. And then I joined a startup. Meanwhile, I also left the startup, but it doesn't mean I left entrepreneurship altogether because I have more and more ideas and I work on several projects in the same time. So I'm still fascinated by insurance and how this industry is going to change. I love writing, which is very visible. That's why people see me all the time on LinkedIn. It's not only because I love writing, but I started to realize what a powerful combination is to love writing and to express your ideas about world, about leadership, about insurance, about digital. I can write about any of those topics. On the other hand, I'm deeply passionate. I have a passion for mental health, and we founded Mind Healing, which is a mental health association for children and youth. It's a mission we strongly believe in. What I find interesting is how the society in general is fascinated with young entrepreneurs. The younger you are and the more money you make, the more successful you are. But this is not the right definition of success. And I'm fighting a bit against that because I see a lot of people leaving corporate world, and we can speak a bit later about what's good, what's not so good after you leave the corporate world. And they are somehow tied up. They have no idea what to do. Their identity, their whole identity was being head of CXO of that company, and they are a bit lost. Some of them go into board membership, and I've done a board training myself, but I haven't done it with the idea that, okay, my career is over. From now on, I'm going to do board, and that's it. In boards, we shouldn't have only people who think they are at the end of their career. We should have people from all levels and people who can actually express their ideas and work in the best interest of the company. That's still possible. So we are not done at 50. That's my biggest message. We're not done at 50. We still have energy. We have experience. And we can do a lot of things because we have the experience. We have a bit more patience. Some of you, I don't, but we can still make a difference.
I totally agree. We can, and you see, I mean, I'm not really what you would call a young entrepreneur, but I think that entrepreneurship also has no age. Sometimes, like myself, it was one of the possibilities I chose in the end. But as much as there are people who like doing it, there is so many people who would never want to be an entrepreneur. They need being led. They need a company around them. They need to be settled within hierarchies. There are so many things they prefer. Even when I was within a company or a museum or wherever I worked, I was thinking like an entrepreneur, meaning I was thinking, what is best for this museum, for this firm, for these people. And this is, so it didn't change so much for me, but I can really say I love being an entrepreneur. I love being able to decide whenever I want, whatever I want. It's the same with you, isn't it?
I love what you said, but let's demystify it a bit. You said something super important, Binci. Not everyone is done for this because it's not easy. It's not easy. You are used with a comfortable place, a desk, an infrastructure, maybe an assistant, colleagues, and the support network, people who are ready to help you, people who can answer your questions, people specialized in legal, compliance, sales, operations. You have all of that in a company. You just go to them and say, hello, department head, can you please help me with this type of problem? Or, hey, legal, can you give me a legal opinion on this following thing? What would be the implication? What's the risk for us? You have the experts. In the moment you become an entrepreneurship, you are head of legal, head of compliance, head of operations. You are doing sales. You are doing pretty much everything. So that's not easy. I got to know someone who used to be in a pretty important position in a corporate, and he said, oh my God, I don't have an assistant. I have no clue what to do with my calendar. Well, then probably you're not good material for entrepreneurship because this is not easy. On the other hand, what do you get? You get flexibility, freedom, and for some people that's less important. They simply identify with a company and they are totally fine with that. I was one of them up until one point, but would I trade that? Not quite. After you realize you can say whatever you want, you are the only responsible for your ideas. You can go and work from anywhere. You can establish your own agenda and your own schedule. Becomes a bit addictive, I have to say. So there are goods and bads. And one has to carefully analyze or simply try it out. Does it work for me or not? It doesn't mean everyone who leaves at the age of 50 a corporate or a job should go automatically into entrepreneurship. Let's not be mistaken here. It takes a lot of work. It is a completely different world. You learn a completely new skill set. And then sometimes you're still awake at night wondering, am I going to do it or what's next?
Yeah, it's exactly like you say. I must say, I find it fantastic also, if I have a problem with anything, even if it's very small, how am I going to solve? I quite like that because I like solving things, but thinking, how do I solve this? And if I solve it, I know the next time exactly what way I need to take. And the good thing about being a little older is you don't do the mistakes again and again. I do a mistake, I won't ever do it again. I learn, and I think everybody should learn. But as I see, people are sometimes quite resistant about learning something and then really doing it.
Probably the most difficult part is finding the right partners, long-term partners, because people who are enthusiastic about one idea, of course you find them. People who are ready to put in the work consistently on a day-to-day basis for the years to come, that's not that easy. And people who have the same values, not the same ideas. Why you don't need to have the same ideas? Because a bit of tension creates progress, and that's natural, and that's the way we evolve. But having same values is crucial. If I have a certain level of ethical standards and integrity, I demand and expect exactly the same from a long-term business partner.
Yes, that is very important, probably really, as you say, the most important. And to me, what is very important as well is being able to rely on someone. Because, I'm told, yes, you will get this and that by then. And I then find it has not been done. They just forgot. I so often find people who forget things. And I'm thinking, but how? Why? And I mean, if you have to hand in something on a certain date, you should be able to know that the person is going to give you that. And otherwise, it is impossible to work. So yes, I need to be able to rely on people, and I need them to be honest, but I don't want something good. I want something excellent. So I like to work with people who can say from time to time, look, this is just not my cup of tea, or I just don't know enough about this certain topic. Try to find someone else for that, or give me some more time for it. I will never, ever say, well, why can't you do that? Or why don't you know about it? That doesn't matter. I mean, I have lots of things I have no idea of, like we just discussed blockchain, unfortunately, and I know because you have big knowledge about it, you will tell me about it. And I don't care saying that in public. I mean, who knows everything? Nobody at all. And isn't it nice learning something new every day?
And we can't rely upon what we learned 30 years ago during college, because that's, first of all, outdated. Second of all, it's a long time ago. Even with the best memory, you can't remember what you studied 30 years ago. Plus, nowadays things are moving at such a speed that you need to upgrade your knowledge continuously. If I'm not learning every year about 2-3 new things in my professional life, then I'm out. This is when I'm out. It's not because I'm 50. I'm not even 50. I'm going to be soon. This is why people are out, when they stop learning. It's not the age.
I much enjoy learning new things. I find that fantastic. Like in my case now, learning about artificial intelligence was so very interesting. And the more I knew about it, that's usually the case, the more you want to know about it. And I just see that it keeps my brain working, because the brain is just like muscles. It needs to be trained. And I really would suggest to anyone, do that. Do it. It doesn't matter what it is, but just keep on learning something new.
Yeah, it stimulates your creativity. Plus, you have taken a very concrete example of emotion logic, and you went with that company from the beginning of your training until very end of it, because you went through several assignments. I know it was a bit of a pain for you, but finally you understood what the company does and what is the technology behind, which is amazing.
Yeah, you're right. And, thinking back only a few years, I would never, ever have thought that I'd be interested in maths or engineering or computing or coding or all of that. But now that I know a bit more about that, and I have a bit of insight, I find that world incredible, absolutely incredible. When I was at school, I hated mathematics. I just did, well, I am sure it was the teacher who was really rubbish, but that's why I rather learned languages and art instead of something like mathematics or physics. And it's really interesting that at even 60 plus, you suddenly become interested in these things.
But that's exactly how we can bridge the generational gap, because this is what I see, and I think you have spoken extensively about this topic. People who are a bit more senior are usually removed from the organization, could be 50, could be 45, could be 55. And young people, sometimes they miss the guidance, they miss the leadership of a more senior colleague. I strongly believe that the most successful team should have people from all different generations, should have a healthy mixture of people who are a bit more senior and people who are young, because they both bring something to the table. More senior people bring experience, wisdom, patience, while young people bring a lot of energy, they are digital savvy, they know by heart because they are born in that age when everything was digital. And if you manage to bridge the two worlds, then you create true success.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what I always thought, and I will always think like. And I am sure that there will come the time when even big insurances or any business actually learns that it is important also to have these senior people, to have their knowledge, and that it is important to work with both the young as the old, as you said, and not just say at 50 or 55, we can't work with you anymore, you're too old. Obviously, they're saying it in a different way. But if I look at UBS at the moment, exactly this is happening. And it's UBS is just an example. It's the same way everywhere in the world. And this has to change, and I am quite positive will change at some point.
You're 61 and you just started your entrepreneurial journey. What are the next steps for the Broken News?
I must admit that in March I'll be even 62. But with this said, I want to become bigger, like working with more journalists together so that we can cover even more. I want to have some columnists who write columns every 2 months or every month, etc. And I have already found someone from legal who is going to talk or to write rather about everything insurance and legal. And I'm very happy about that. That's a quite young guy who will be working with us. And I've already read what he's writing, and I'm very much looking forward to his columns. And well, I want to even go and see more events in the insurance industry, because last year I have been to several, probably one a month, and I think that's really important to be there, to see people, to talk with them, to always keep in touch with them, so they know that they can also always call or write to me if there is something they think is important in that field. And I am going to stress the importance of cybersecurity, as I did so far, and also about insurtechs, because I have read in the past days a few things about insurtechs. They don't succeed, etc., etc. Well, I know of insurtechs that did succeed and do a fantastic job, and they are very important in my eyes. And I'm going to continue looking at them, working with them, writing about them, presenting them, and getting to know them. Also with the Swiss Intertech Hub, which Silvia Signoretti is doing a fantastic job there, and also with the Israeli Intertech Hub, which is also doing a fantastic job. And why Israel? I think we can learn quite a lot from Israel and from their insurtechs. They are a bit more advanced, I find. And so look at the best, and that's what we are doing as well. And well, I think at the end, I can say I want to become number one, at least in Switzerland, but writing also for DACH and Great Britain, the United States, Israel, etc., because I know I have quite a lot of readers over there. Putting my goal very high up, I know, wanting to become number one, but what should I say? But I want to become number 2, 3, 4. No, I want to become number one. That's it.
That's great to hear.
Thank you for listening. We will come back with more episodes of the Broker News Podcast.